Hello again, and welcome to episode 9 of Gears League, an Xbox podcast. It is me, again, Tyler Bello, going ahead and giving you the best and the very best only of Xbox news. So, this is, it's technically just the second episode solo, but 3 episodes total I've done solo. And I'm thinking, because I wanted to, because there's that statistic that every podcast will fail like in the first 7 episodes. I feel like I feel like technically as a group we only made it 6 episodes, and so now as me I'm on 3. So I feel like if I make 4 more podcasts, I'll be golden. So and then I'll be set. So other than that, let's get to the news here. Everything. First, I do want to make a correction. So I definitely learned a lot from last episode. I had a friend of mine listen to it back for me, and some feedback I got from just the community and everything. That it just the because when I go into an article that I'm not too interested in and I kind of skim it, I miss a lot. So basically, what I've done this time is I've rewritten all the articles myself. So I've got like them down and worded, as I would word them. So I'm not kind of just scrambling to click on the articles as the show goes. So should be a lot smoother this time. We might save some time too on that episode as well. So, but yeah, first thing I want to talk about is the correction. Destiny 2 did not get Trials of Osiris. I know that the update is themed around Osiris, but apparently Trials of Osiris is not coming back, even though there is a ton of fan outcry for it. I know now as a part of the Destiny community, only for like this last month, everyone was hoping for that. So I guess kind of wishful thinking on my part, but no, Trials of Osiris is not back. But other than that, I've just been playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I don't really know how I feel about it yet. I will keep playing, and it's probably a game I'm definitely gonna finish. I mean, it's just a game like I feel like I have to finish, and I'll let you know. I will definitely tell you tiny bit disappointing. I mean, like I said, maybe I'll change my mind the more I play it, but it wasn't the masterpiece I was expecting when I was very hyped to play the game. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll save it for a Tyler Soapbox too. I'll kind of give it a full breakdown when I'm done with the game. So, yeah. Other than that, I've been playing Pokemon actually again. I've kind of I fell off Pokemon a while. Like I played like the original, Red, Blue, Yellow, and then Gold, Silver, Crystal, and then I just but I played those games over and over and over again. Like literally, probably have thousands of hours in each of those. I think I've said that before, and then Sapphire, I basically played through one time, and that was it. And then I never really touched on the Pokemon game again until Alpha Sapphire, which I played that for actually like 100 hours or so. And then now I played Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I kind of wanna. I think I want to make this kind of my go-to handheld game. What I mean by that is I used to play a lot so. I mean, I've always been trying to get into the Vita. I've had the Vita for a few years, and I like it, but I can just never. I don't play it regularly enough, and then so I'll start let's say I'll start the Ratchet and Clank collection on it, and I'll play it for a little bit, and then eventually I'll get I won't play it for like a week or something like that, and then I have no motivation to go back to a game I haven't picked up in a week. Things like that. Whereas Pokemon's a game where I feel like if I just focused on one game to be my handheld game of choice, it would be a really good option. And I also just recently found out my 3DS still works, so I don't know. I might just go all full scale Pokemon nerd right now. It's seeming like that's going to be the case at least for a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of this new. Again, these new Pokemon games are a lot of fun. I am still warming on them the more I play them, but at the same time, other points of them I'm still souring on. Again, listen to Tyler's Soapbox. The episode I did there. If you want more about it, it's such a good game, but at the same time, it's like it's lacking so much. And one thing I forgot to talk about in the Tyler Soapbox is there is no voice acting, which is really weird for like we're in 2019 and a AAA game doesn't have voice acting. Kind of weird, but anyway, into the news. So there's actually a lot of Xbox Scarlett news here, so I think I might as well let's see here. I might as well go pretty much to everything that's not Xbox Scarlett, and I'll finish up with everything that is Scarlett. So, first one is Star Wars Battlefront 2 DLC inbound. Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be getting Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker content and will be getting a special edition called Celebration Edition. As revealed by EA, it will cost $39.99 to purchase. If you're an existing Battlefront owner, you can upgrade for just $24.99. The content includes the game, 25 hero skins, 125 trooper and reinforcement appearances, and more than 100 hero and trooper emotes and voice lines, as well as 70 hero and trooper victory poses. So, that's actually kind of exciting, because I actually do like Star Wars Battlefront 2 a lot. I don't like, all the, obviously when it launched, it was kind of a wreck, but it was still a lot of fun to play. I really do like that game. I kind of quit just because I had to move to other games, but I could definitely see that being a go-to game for me and maybe a couple friends or something. As being the persistent game that we play, because that game is so much fun, especially when you can run around as Darth Vader or the Emperor or Anakin. Really good stuff. Like I said, I kind of want to get back into it, but I don't know if I want to buy it again on PC. I don't know. That just seems kind of redundant, but I don't know. Good game. Good, but I'm glad it's getting supported still, though. So, especially after the backlash that game got when it launched from the microtransactions and everything, it's good to see that they're still trying. Versus like another EA game, Anthem, it seems like they just gave up on entirely. So, interesting stuff. Must be making them some money still. So, let's see here, and then so Control is coming to Game Pass, but not really apparently. So, head of Xbox Phil Spencer said in a recent interview that he was excited to see Control come to Game Pass, and was sad it didn't reach more people, and that being on Xbox Game Pass would allow it to reach more people. Well, according to Control developer Remedy, that isn't the case. The information about Control coming to Xbox Game Pass, as reported on a recent Mixer stream, is incorrect, Remedy wrote. We have no news or announcements regarding Xbox Game Pass at this time. So, yeah, there's kind of funny that the one hand wasn't talking to the other. At the same time, I think Control on Game Pass would make a lot of sense, and I'm actually kind of sad to see that it's not coming to Game Pass, because that was also one of my most anticipated games of the year, and I still haven't gotten to it yet. Probably because I was so busy playing Destiny and Gears that I never actually got a chance to play it. But that is a game I do plan to play in the near-ish future. After I finish Star Wars Battlefront, I want to spend some time probably on Halo Reach, and then I want to play Blair Witch too after that. So, but Control is definitely a game I would love to play, and I know that it said it didn't actually even chart on the NPD, which means that this. I feel so bad because Remedy is. I don't know if I've ever said this before. Remedy is probably like one of my favorite developers ever. I love Alan Wake, and I recently just bought it to get on Steam because it now has Steam achievements. And yeah, I bought it again, and I love Alan Wake. I love Quantum Break. They rhyme, haha. And I really wanted to play this. And it's so sad that it seems like all other games are just hidden gems, and I don't know. I worry how long that's sustainable for. And I am kind of hoping that Microsoft just picks them up, because I think like they'd be a great acquisition. Because I think it would help Remedy, because the talent of that studio is so amazing. I don't want them to ever have to worry about getting closed down or something, because I feel like they don't make a ton of money, and so I don't know. Food for thought. Also, too, I guess the other thing about it coming to Game Pass, I feel like it still could. I feel like maybe they just didn't want their sales to tank before it happened, so they just said it wasn't. I don't know. That's also my conspiracy theory there too. So, yeah, and also, 2K has officially announced that they are working on a new BioShock game. So this is an IGN article by Jonathan Dornbush. The announcement comes alongside the unveil of a new internal studio at 2K called Cloud Chamber, who will be working on the game. However, in the same announcement, 2K said that, sorry about that. 2K said, do not expect the game anytime soon, as it will be in development for the next several years. Also important to note, the famed Kev Levine, who is largely considered to be the mastermind behind the first BioShock game, will not be involved. So, this is, let's see here. I don't know if you consider this good news or what. I have only actually played BioShock 1, and I've kind of heard from people I trust that it's the best one. I do plan to play the other ones, But I know that, yeah, a lot of people say that Kev Levine was largely the mastermind behind the first game, and so he's not going to be working on it. I do kind of wonder what a BioShock game could look like, kind of going by a completely different developer, because that's basically what's happening. Same publisher, different developer. At the same time, though, I feel like BioShock's one of those cult classics that people I feel like put a little bit too much love and trust in. The reason I say that is because how I don't think it's that hard to make a good survival game, where you're just constantly scrapped for ammo and you're looking for boxes for cash and bullets and stuff. I don't think it's that hard to make. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's not a lot of good examples of bad ones. If you think about it, I just feel like I wish more developers would take the time to make them, because obviously, I guess my most recent example I probably played with Evil Within, which was like a survival horror game that was excellent. And then I played BioShock only for the first time after I played Evil Within, and that was excellent too. And I don't know, I feel like that's a really easy formula. I don't know if the story is going to be maybe as good. That's probably something we might lose without Kev Levine, but at the same time, I feel like it'll be a fine game. So, I'm not too worried there. So now let's get to the Xbox Scarlett news. So, IGN article by Matt Kim, the discless next Xbox may be real after all. So, when rumors of the next Xbox were swirling around, there were two versions called Project Scarlett and one called Project Lockhart. Actually, they're both called Project Scarlett. I think one was called Anaconda and one was called Lockhart. One was supposed to be a cheaper, discless version that wasn't quite as powerful, and the other one was supposed to be similar to the Xbox One X, a more powerful version. Now reports seem to indicate that perhaps Project Lockhart isn't dead after all. Phil Spencer hasn't said anything, and since these are just rumors, it might be wise not to get our hopes up. But at the same time, apparently there are still some rumors going around. Like I said, it's kind of one of those things some people say, one of those articles. But since they didn't really cite a source, I don't know if I'm too excited about it. But at the same time, I think it would make sense to have a discless version of it that you'd sell, but maybe not weaker than the original Xbox. Like if both of them are the same power and one is discless and cheaper, that's probably the one I'm going to buy, because I have actually sold all my physical media, save for a few 3DS games, So I'm kind of hoping that we get a discless one that maybe is $50 or $100 cheaper or something like that than the regular Xbox. I think that'd be excellent. I think that would be fantastic, especially too because buying digitally actually does help the developer more because there's not a middleman anymore or anything. This kind of takes me into a different kind of conversation that I wanted to have about how people say about that games are probably going to go up in price next generation, which is probably still true. But if games are all digital, which means that your $60 you pay for the game is going further than it was before, that could maybe stop the price hike, And also too, if you're, with Game Pass too, with Game Pass, that I feel like that subscription model too might also help games stay a little bit cheaper. I feel like no matter what, we're gonna be, paying more for games anyway. Because we already kind of had this discussion in the podcast. Look back a couple episodes, I talked about how games are technically still cheaper than they've ever been, especially if you count for inflation. If you don't count for inflation, they're pretty much as cheap as they've ever been as well too. So we are paying a lot less for our games than we were, say, 10, 20, not 10, but 20 years ago for sure. So, yeah. And another article from GameSpot by Steve Watts. Phil Spencer says they learned a lesson from Xbox One. In a recent interview with The Purge, Phil Spencer says, "I would say a learning from the Xbox One generation is we will not be out of position on power or price. If you remember the beginning of this generation, we were $100 more expensive, and yes, we were less powerful. And we started Project Scarlett with this leadership team in place with the goal of having market success." Phil Spencer then went on to talk about how earlier in the year there was a discussion on whether or not there would be more generations going forward. He said the thought there would be more generations even beyond the next one, and because of that, he said, we're all in on Project Scarlett, and I want to compete, and I want to compete in the right ways, which is why we're focused on cross-play and backwards compatibility. So, with that, I thought that was So one thing here too, it's always funny when people talk about if there's gonna be new console generations. I still think it's funny. There's always gonna be console generations. They're the cheaper alternative to buying a PC. I don't know where this. There's always this thought every generation that, oh well, this is going to be the last console generation. No, we'll have consoles for years and years to come. You know, yeah, I don't know why we went. Google Stadia is probably the least costly console there is, and it works for a very small percentage of people. So we're probably always going to have consoles, at least probably in the foreseeable future. So, but anyway, yeah, this is also good news though too, because beginning of last generation, I was hardcore an Xbox fanboy, I will say, and I was like not looking at the PlayStation whatsoever, and so I bought my Xbox day one, and yeah, it's kind of good to see that they kind of learned from it. If you remember, the Xbox One stumbled out of the gate with the whole always online thing, which is still ridiculous to think about because most people have it. Literally, you see those statistics about how the consoles are effectively online only machines anyway. But like, I don't know, people lose their mind over silly stuff. Cancel culture, I feel like, was born that day. You know, I don't, I don't know, it was crazy, but. Yeah, it's kind of good to hear that they're going to try to be competitive, especially with power, because I feel like a lot of articles said, you know, I remember when the generations came out that resolution wasn't important for gamers. I feel like that's bullshit. I feel like if you get two consoles and you find out one's better after the same price, you buy that one. You know, there's no other, you know, I don't think there's a lot of other alternative other console exclusivity, but I feel like not a lot of people care about those so much anymore. I mean, I feel like obviously a lot of people care about them, but if you think about it, it's like PlayStation exclusives. I don't feel like drive the sale of the PlayStation itself, but I think that's where kind of Xbox has a unique advantage. Where Xbox exclusives, I feel like definitely do, because Halo and Gears are very big sellers, and I don't know. I feel like if they're competitive in power and price, I feel like they're gonna get definitely a head start on this next generation for sure. So, let's see, and then next we've got. See, according to Phil Spencer, the next Xbox will have a name that describes its purpose. This is an IGN article by Chris Priestman. When asked if he felt like the naming of Xbox consoles is hard compared to Sony's numbered approach, he said no, it wasn't. He says, our naming convention has been around what we think the capabilities are. The Xbox 360 was about the entertainment experience around the box, and the box being in the center of that entertainment experience. Xbox One, if you remember, our branding early on was always an input all-in-one. Those names were really built around the purpose of the box. And I feel like going forward, it'll be the same thing with Xbox Scarlett. So, that... I don't know. It is what it is, I suppose. That's kind of a pretty exciting, you know, thing. I guess I don't know. It's not that exciting. It's just news, I suppose. At least it's not gonna be called Xbox 2, right? You know. So, I think this is also a good guess that we have no clue what the next one's gonna be called. I mean, how would you even begin to guess what the next Xbox is gonna be called at this point? It's probably just gonna be called Xbox really powerful, right? Who knows? But I don't know. It's kind of good that they no, it's good that they have an idea in mind, I suppose. I mean, I guess you really can't go with the numbered approach, because a lot of times, like what businesses will do, apparently there's businesses to show the proof too, that you never want to have a number behind your competitor, which is kind of why Xbox One was so strange. But like if you think about it, recently the most recent example you can think of was iPhone. They didn't have an iPhone 9. They kind of went with the iPhone 10. The 8 and 10 came out the same year because they wanted to compete with Samsung. You don't want to look like the inferior product. You know, apparently there's market research to show, like, well, if you're looking at the iPhone 9 and the Samsung 10, that people apparently just will pick the 10 because it seems superior just by comparison. So, yeah, there's real statistics to show that apparently. So, it's good that they're not trying to go with the numbered approach. I feel like they'd always be a little bit a step behind with that. So. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I actually have a topic this week. Unfortunately, just because nothing really spoke to me, and I don't really want to force the topics. to come. So no topic this week. We'll see about next week. I have a feeling there should be something next week, especially as I wrap up. Especially as I wrap up Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for sure. So, no topic this week, but otherwise that's it, guys. Again, you can always email the show at gearsleaguepodcast@gmail.com. It's gearsleaguepodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and shoot an email here, and I'd be happy to respond to you on the show. So, you can always follow me on twitch.tv/TOPOLEADK, and I'm also Gears League on YouTube. Probably won't be me streaming anytime soon because I'm getting my streaming PC fixed, but after that you should see me streaming probably pretty regularly. So, alrighty guys, take care.